Hello, and welcome to Knit Cheek, a podcast where I talk about my knitting. May start it over again. Where I like to talk about all the things that I'm knitting and crocheting and spinning and quilting, which I haven't talked about either of those things on this podcast yet because I haven't been doing those things. But the knitting and the crocheting is going good. My name is Natalie. I am the cheek behind Knit Cheek, and I'm coming to you from Southern California where I live and work. Yesterday, I went to a couple thrift stores and it was so hot. And I think it was like 70 degrees yesterday. So my outfit is very summer inspired, even though today the weather has cooled down a bit and I think it's even supposed to rain. But I am getting ready for my trip. If you didn't watch my knit and chat, I am going to Italy for 2 months. I leave in April. It's April right now. I leave in like a week and I'm going to be gone for 2 months. I am woofing my way across Italy. It's something I did in my early 20s and I'm going to recreate that in my early mid-30s. Mid-30s. I'm 34. So yeah, that's what I am wearing. The Sea Breeze tank top. It's a crochet pattern, Debbie Bliss, and the pattern calls for cotton denim DK. I crocheted this with Barocco's Pima cotton, and it's really nice. It's really soft. I want to say I crocheted, I didn't write it down, but I want to say that I crocheted a size small. And I used exactly 2 skeins of the Pima cotton. There was none left over. I used all of it. I was kind of feeling summery vibes because yesterday was so hot. Yesterday we got up to like, oh my God, you gotta be kidding me. You cannot do that. You can't be doing that. You cannot. It is like a V-neck. It's not like a V-neck. It is a V-neck, but I actually crocheted this. I'll include some pictures with a modified back, so it's got a straight back, so like a square neck back. So it's reversible, and I crocheted this with Barocco's Pima Pima cotton yarn, and I used exactly 2 skeins. I got it from my local yarn store, and I used every last yard of that. I have no leftovers whatsoever. I actually think the length of it is great, but I was just trying to crochet up all the yarn that I had. I think actually it turned out perfect, but if I would have had more, I would have kept going. So, but it fits all of my high-waisted pants, so it works out fine. Yeah, I'm getting ready for my trip to Italy. If you didn't watch my knit and chat last week that I posted, I talked about that I am going to Italy for 2 months. I leave in a week. Not anxious or scared about that at all. So I leave in a week. And where is I going with this? I've been trying to kind of put some outfits together and kind of make a packing list. So this is one of the outfits I put together. I'm wearing a pair of linen pants, and then my crochet top and my, what do you call this, a chambray shirt, which is kind of smelly. I just bought it and it's still smelly from the store. Every store in the mall is so smelly these days, like with the fragrance. So I need to wash it because I'm really sensitive to smells and whatnot. What was I talking about? Just tangenting about how I don't like things that are smelly. I'm sorry if there is a lot of noise going on in my house today. I'm doing laundry and I just filled up the water filter. We have a Berkey water filter that filters our tap water, and cars be carring outside. So I usually try to cancel out the background noise in my phone, my computer when I'm editing these videos, but I just don't know. I'm pushing it to the limit today. So we'll see how capable iMovie is of getting rid of those sounds. This sound is not going anywhere though. You done? You want to say hi? This is Peaches, my 7-year-old. She always sounds just so whiny. Yeah, she always sounds like that. She's never happy. Yeah, I know. So today's video is a pattern roundup of cabled cardigans. I have been wanting a cream colored cable cardigan for quite some time. I want to say years, but dare I say years? I don't know. It's just something that it's been years. I've always been looking for that you can't rub up on the tripod. Yep, that's shaking. Okay, get over here. And the hair saga continues of my, I have really long, thin hair, so it tangles real easy. My hair is not wavy. I braid it at night so that it doesn't get tangly. And then it just looks like this because of the way that I wear it at night when I'm sleeping. I'm talking with my hands a lot. I'm getting ready for Italy. I am, this is not by any means like a what do you call it, like an ad or anything, but I have been using the Pimsleur language app, and it is by far the best app that I have tried. I've tried Rosetta Stone and Babbel, which were fine, but the Pimsleur is definitely way better. And we actually had a Rosetta Stone Lifetime account with like a CD-ROM, like we bought it from Barnes and Nobles 12 years ago, and it recently stopped working, and we contacted Rosetta Stone and we were like, hey, we bought a Lifetime membership with you guys, and they're like, oh yeah, but that's the CD-ROMs and those don't work anymore. So I think there may have been a miscommunication on their part what Lifetime means. So yeah, I'm trying to get ready for Italy. I mean, definitely have low expectations for my ability to communicate out there, but hopefully people will not try to speak Italian, molto Italian to me, just un po' Italian. It's bad. Okay, so the patterns. I have a bundle on my Ravelry of cabled cardigans over the years that I have marked as potential patterns that I would knit for my cabled cardigan that I would like to have in my wardrobe. Why have I not knit one yet? I don't know. I think because I just hadn't found, which I haven't found yarn yet, but I was still looking for the perfect pattern. In my mind, I want a drop shoulder cable cardigan. Cream is the color, but that doesn't really matter about the pattern. And ideally, it would have pockets. I do have a Quince or a sweater that I bought from Quince, a website, quince.com, that sells clothes that I like. And it's like a slate blue one. I've definitely worn it on this channel before, so you can see on some of my past videos in the thumbnail, you'll probably see it. I love that cardigan. It's 100% cotton and it does not have pockets though. So, and the colors when I bought it they had a smaller selection than they do now. So now they have more. So where was I going with that? I don't know. It made me realize even more how much I would like to knit a cabled cardigan in a cream color. So today I thought I would just go over some of which maybe not, well, I have 13. That's doable. I'm getting a lot of text about kitten stuff. If you haven't heard from my other videos, please go watch them. I rescue kittens, and it's not really like I sought out to rescue kittens. It's just something that kind of happened to me in my life, is like foster animals, and then learned how to take care of kittens, because taking care of kittens is kind of more labor intensive than most people realize, especially if you do not have the mom cat. It's like every 2 hour type of thing. It's like taking care of, well, I've never had a baby, but it's probably not as bad as taking care of a baby. But it's labor intensive because they are babies. So we had a litter of 7 kittens, and we lost 3 to panleukopenia, I probably said that wrong, but it's like the parvo of kittens. And so we have to be real careful coming back to our house after we have, we're doing sub-Q injections for the kittens that survived to help their chances of survival. That sentence was great. So yeah, we come home and we have to wash everything, and I like completely sanitize so that we do not potentially get our cat sick, which we recently gave them boosters for their vaccines for that virus. So, I mean, it should be fine, but it's still scary. And I have been washing my hair just 3 times as much as I normally do, just because I have to keep washing it. Because we're over there, and I've talked about that I struggle with my hair because I don't really know how to do hair. So, but it's like washing it a lot actually has been, because I can put like serums and stuff in it more often, has made it feel like more healthier. It's really long. My hair is really long. I need to cut it, but you know, it just keeps growing. So you cut it and then it keeps growing. I can't wait till I have to rewatch this conversation when editing, and I'm just like, what was I? Geez, Natalie, you're not even making real sentences here. Let me take my tea bag out of my tea. So yeah, I'm gonna get started on the patterns, and I'm just gonna start in order of like when I added these to my bundle. Like I said, I want to say that this has been over a course of at least a couple of years. When did I think the one that kind of started my fascination with a cabled cardigan was Andrea Mary's Winter's Beach cardigan, which is not on my list because I don't think that that's the style of it. It just isn't for me. But I did, when that came out, I was like, oh, I'm gonna knit this, and then kind of realized like that not that there's anything wrong with the pattern, but the pattern attributes, like I said, what I'm looking for now is a drop shoulder, and like with pockets would just be chef's kiss. So yeah, I'm gonna go in order of when I added this to my bundle. And the first cardigan is the must-have cardigan.
The must-have cardigan is knit in pieces. It is knit from the bottom up, and it has set-in sleeves.
Who I do not know who wrote this pattern. It doesn't say on Ravelry. I think maybe because it was I think it was by maybe Patterns, like one of their patterns. I'm not 100% sure though. It is a free, you know what, let's follow the website and see what it says. It is a free pattern, and it doesn't, okay, the designer is Gail Bunn. On my Rabbit app, it is not on there, but so this pattern I saw on Fiber Tales on her podcast. She was wearing it, and I think referred to it in one of her podcasts from a while ago. And I loved her version of it, which was cream. She did say that she did some modifications to her pattern, and I don't know what modifications, and I don't know if I'm in my skill set to modify a pattern like this, especially a cabled pattern. She made it longer and the sleeves more simple. Yeah, so I don't think that I'm at that level of modifying something this intricate. I do really like this. I don't think this is a drop shoulder. I don't know what type of shoulder this is. It's more of like square. It's a square shoulder, just making up terms. It's very pretty. It's knit up in a worsted weight with a 20 stitch gauge. And the sizing it goes from an extra small to a 5XL. So that sounds good. I'm not super versed with like if that's good, but I think that's good. That sounds good to me. But so the bust goes from a 20-inch bust, 28-inch bust to 62-inch bust. I think that's good. I think that's size inclusive. If you were to look on, I think in the 60s is what people consider size inclusive. So that was the first one that I ever added to this bundle. That was from that I found through Fiber Tales from her podcast. So the next one is the Botanist.
The Botanist is knit in one piece, then separated at sleeves and worked flat in 3 pieces. It has set in sleeves and it is worked from the bottom up.
Okay, Thea Coleman, the Botanist. This is a pattern knit up in worsted weight, and then the suggested yarn is a verb for keeping warm. It is kind of really exactly what I am looking for in a knit cardigan, and now that I'm looking at it, I'm like, this is really going up to the top of my list. It's nice, and I don't know if this is so I'm confused on drop shoulders. Like, is this considered a drop shoulder, or is it just a regular, what is a regular saddle? I don't know, a regular shoulder. And like if you knit it in an oversized, then you kind of get the drop. Like this chambray shirt it's a regular shirt, but because it's slightly oversized, you kind of get that drop shoulder effect. Not really with this one, but yeah, this pattern. The one thing I would say that I don't like about this pattern is that a lot of the knitters who've knit samples, this part of the neckline is thicker, and then you end up like rolling it, which isn't my favorite. I just want like an all around same length for the neckline going down that. But I don't know if that's something, because it doesn't look like that in the original. A little bit, the original sample one, it doesn't fold over, but it is a little bit longer up here. So I don't know if that's something that I could figure out how to modify. It's an $8 pattern for this one. And so the next pattern is called the Cabled Cardigan. It's just called Cabled Cardigan, which is perfect.
Cable Cardigan by Irene Lynn is knit from the top down. It is seamless and it has raglan sleeves.
This is like a, what do they call, seed stitch all over with some cabling. This looks like a regular raglan to me. Sorry, I'm not a like super technical knitter, so you're gonna have to deal with my yeah, raglan sleeve. This is an Aran weight cardigan, which is a plus because that means it'll go by fast. This is just something that I added. The designer for this one is Irene Lynn, and she's got a lot of, actually, like I'm looking at her designer page and there's so many of these that are favorited because I really do like her patterns. So that is another option here. Next up I have the P cardigan, and this isn't like really what I was thinking of when I was looking for a cabled cardigan. It's kind of more subtle with the cabling design, but I do still think it's nice, and so it makes the list. God, I'm really great at articulating today. So this is a $7 cardigan, the P cardigan. Suggested yarns are Quince & Co. or some other yarn I've never heard of, Rum Nutritura. It's a worsted weight yarn, 20 gauge stitching, top down seamless cables. Next up on my list, I have the Bernie cardigan. Bernie, yeah, that's Bernie, right? This is beautiful cabled cardigan. This is the Bernie cardigan by Clarissa Shalong. It is knit up in Aran weight yarn as well, so it's a plus because it'll go by super fast. In I know I've heard this, Filconlana yarn, Peruvian yarn. Yeah, I like this one. I like the cabling. I like whatever that, I don't know the name of it, but the cables where they go shoop shoop. I don't know what that's called, but I like that a lot. The selling factor to this one is definitely like the all over cabling and that honeycomb on the back. Yeah, this is a good one. So that's the next one on my list is the Stolt cardigan, and I know that this is from Woolfolk. It's a pattern from Woolfolk, and they suggested the yarn. It's a sport weight cardigan. I really liked this cardigan because I like Woolfolk. This is definitely what I mean when I say drop shoulder. Like it's wide, So the shoulders are coming down. I love the look of the shoulders on this one. And the yarn is very pretty. It's only got 11 projects, which is surprising. So we've got sport weight, one piece, seamless, top down. It doesn't say that it's a drop shoulder in the description, but it looks like a drop shoulder to me. It's definitely oversized. Guess who the pattern writer is? The designer is Irene Lynn again, but I think she wrote this for Woolfolk, if I'm not mistaken. Which I love Woolfolk yarn. That's a little out of my price range, but if I could like splurge on a yarn, I would definitely love to get my hands on some of that. So next up I have, how am I gonna say that? Alku, which is a beautiful cable, all over cable work cardigan, and it's the first one on my list that has pockets. So that's definitely a plus for me because I would love to find a cardigan with pockets. It is knit up in a DK, and the suggested yarn is Tuku wool, and it's a DK weight. Let me check who the designer is. The designer is Mijo Coolio, definitely not Mijo Coolio. I think it's with a K, so Coolio. And yeah, I mean the project page is cute. I would definitely do this one more cropped, I think, which the one in the sample photos looks a little bit cropped and oversized, and all around this is top of the list for me. I don't think that she does buttons, but I mean, obviously that would be a pretty easy modification. I think even I could handle that one. That's definitely a contender with those pockets. Okay, next up is another Woolfolk pattern, and this is the Dreje, Dreje, and this is by, let me see the name, Hannah Maciejewska. Maciejewska. Hannah Maciejewska. My bad, Hannah. This one is great. This is definitely one of the ones that I mean, I'm not ranking, but for sure this is definitely a contender. It's got everything that I'm looking for. It's a drop shoulder and it's got pockets, oversized. I would probably crop it significantly from the pattern, from the sample photos. I think the only downside for me for this one is that the only cabling is in the front, so the sleeves and the back are stockinette, which, I mean, that's not necessarily a bad thing, but I think when I envisioned this cardigan, it was all over. It is seamless, which is surprising. I thought because of the way that it was constructed that it would be seamed. I don't know why I thought that, but that's what I thought. So it's seamless. It is worked, it says seamless, but worked flat in the round. Oversized cables. How is something seamless but worked flat? Because it's a cardigan. That's why. Because it's a cardigan. All cardigans are worked flat because they're not sweaters. It also says in the round though. So I'm just reading like at the bottom of Ravelry when it's like almost like tags for, but I mean, like, I guess sleeves are in the round. This one also doesn't have a ton of projects for us to scour and look through, but I like it. What is it? It kind of, yeah, it's a sport weight, so it's a lighter weight. So this could be, if I was going to maybe knit more than one, maybe I could do like a winter and a less winter version, like a warmer, maybe, well, I mean, I wouldn't do it out of cotton, but I don't know. It's lighter weight, so that's that. Next up, I have the Minou cardigan, Min-O-U cardigan.
Minou cardigan is a top-down cardigan with a continuous construction where you pick up the stitches for the sleeves. It is designed with a drop shoulder, and it has half fisherman rib and cables.
This is just a really cute, dainty, really feminine cardigan that I found. I think I found this one on Instagram and I thought was really cute. It's real hairy, so it looks like they were probably doing it with a mohair. it says fingering weight, but I wonder if they mean fingering plus. Yeah, so you're going to use Knitting for Olive together with a Surrey lace weight. So that's more of like a DK weight. So maybe if you were to, usually when I like patterns that are held with a mohair or a Surrey, in my mind, I envision myself knitting them with just a DK weight. Not that I have I've never knit anything with mohair, and I have felt some mohairs that I thought felt nice. I just think for the climate that I live in, it would be too warm and hard for me to get wear out of, even though I spend a lot of times in the mountains out here. I just don't know if I could deal with the fuzziness, like in my face and everywhere. It's like I already have to deal with my cat's hair everywhere all the time. I don't want to deal with fuzzy yarn hairs everywhere as well. Okay. So yeah, this is a really pretty dainty. I feel like if I were to knit this wouldn't be something that I wear all the time. It would be more like a dress cardigan, like you know, you go to a wedding or some other formal event that you would need just something to throw on top of that. Let me tell you who designed this. I know I'm getting to it. Can you please don't put pressure on me? I'm doing my best. I don't know who designed this. I don't know who designed this because there's no other patterns by this designer. Okay. Designer's other patterns. I'm just going to include that in the description for who designed this one. Next up, I've only got a couple more here. This one is one that I've liked recently. I discovered this one on Instagram, and this one is close to being the perfect cardigan. It is the Carly cardigan, and that is by, oh my God, it's by Irene Lynn again. I just love her patterns. If you haven't been following her stuff, she's got so many good patterns. So, and she does crochet too. So the Carly cardigan, it's beautiful, oversized drop shoulder, all over cabling with pockets. It's honestly, it's almost everything that I've ever wanted. The only thing that I don't love is the neckband being a cable, which I kind of wanted the neckband to be like a ribbed regular neckband. And then the rest of it to be cabled. But that doesn't mean that I am completely turned off by this pattern. I'm kind of like, well, maybe I would like it, but it's just not kind of what I envisioned in my mind. But she also has a vest version of it, and I love the vest version of that too. Just like, how do you add buttons though? Needs buttons. The pockets, they look so good. And the way that it's constructed, I don't think that I could figure out how to do that neckband. It's not, I mean, it doesn't look like she picked up a neckband. It looks like it's just part of the pattern, which is beautiful in its own sense. Like if you don't want to have to worry about knitting a neckband. But maybe I knit this one and it's not the first one on this list that I knit, but we'll see. So it is seamless, top down, in the round. One of means the sleeves probably. And it is knit up in an Aran weight yarn. So maybe I could just knit this real quick. So my last two cardigans, I don't know, when I initially sat down to film this video, I was like, it's probably going to be between these two cardigans. But now I feel like there were so many on my list, I'll have to like wrap them up at the end and be like, which ones are the ones that I'm most likely to knit? And then maybe y'all can tell me your opinions. The Lauder pattern, which is like a super pattern that Rebecca, the Crayabea, what's her last name? Rebecca Clow design. Like there's a sweater, there's a cardigan, and there's a vest. And I think on top of that, she does like a V-neck and a crew neck version of all of those options, which is insane because it's a 7-pound pattern. I honestly think that this one would be one that I do a vest. I've never knitted a vest, but I have plenty of vests here that I want to knit. But this pattern is beautiful. I don't know, was this a drop shoulder or just, it looks like a drop shoulder in some of the pictures, but it may just because it's oversized. Again, I don't know what the technical like drop shoulder technique is, but to me it still gives you the same look that I'm going for, which is just like an oversized fit there. It's knit up in a DK weight and 22 stitch gauge. And I mean, there are just so many. It's a Sarah's podcast did a beautiful vest that made me want to do the vest. So maybe this is one where I do the vest. This one and the last one would be great. What are you doing? So the last one, I don't have on my Ravelry because it's not out yet, but I found it on Instagram. I have a pimple patch, if you're wondering what that is. Yes, it's a pimple patch. So the last cardigan on my list is the book club cardigan by Sari Nordlund. I love that name. I kind of just want to knit it because of the name, because I'm in a book club. I'm in an awesome book club. Tangent here. My book club and I went to go see Pride and Prejudice in the theaters. There's a theater here about 30 minutes from my house that does like throwback movies, and it was such an amazing experience to watch a movie that I've watched alone in my house, like no joke, like 50 times. I watch this movie all the time. I own it, and it's just like my go-to my go-to movie. The cinematography, the score, everything about that movie is great, and it's also hilarious. And watching it in a theater of people who love that movie and laughed their way through Mr. Collins was just great, and it was amazing. So yeah, my book club rocks. So part of me wants to knit this cardigan just so that I can say that I knit the book club cardigan. And that is by Sari Nordlund, and she looks like she knit this in a mohair and some other weight yarn, which I will definitely not be doing. I'll just do it in a whatever weight is without, God, again, with my sentences, like, right. It's like, did that make any sense? It's like me just obviously saying things that you probably got a minute ago. So this is another one where I'm not sure if it's a drop shoulder, but it has that oversized fit, and it's cabled and it has pockets. So I really like the look of this one. She just sent out a test call, I think today. Yeah, today. And honestly, I've never done a test. It's one of my goals. It was supposed to be a goal for this year, but because I'm traveling, I like cannot even think about it. But I would love to test a pattern. I would really like to. I feel like that would be a really great way to make friends and to kind of get more into the community here. Hi, P. What do you think? You like the Sari Nordlund one? Okay. But yeah, I wish I could apply to test for this one, but because I'm going to be out of the country for 2 months, there was just no way. I've never done a test, so I need to make sure that I can like commit. And I also maybe would want to test something more simple. Not that this is, I mean, I've done cables and I've done a cardigan, so I feel like I could do it. And it would also depend on the time that they gave you too. Like I want to make sure that I don't set myself up for failure for my first test. So yeah, that was the book club cardigan. Honestly, I think that after doing this, I'm like more confused than I was. But I think that my top contenders are the book club cardigan, which part of me is like, is that because it's new and like everyone's going to be doing it? Yes, I think so. I think there's something to say about knitting something when it first comes out, and like not because like the hype or whatever, but because it's like you feel more like a community that other people are knitting it. So I'm really tempted to knit that like when it comes out and posting pictures of it with tags, so I can kind of feel like other people, especially if there's like a knit along or something I can enjoy. So the book club cardigan, I'm still really interested in the Carly cardigan, even though I said that I wanted to do a regular neckline, but I still keep finding myself drawn to that pattern. And then the Dreje, D-R-E-J-E pattern with the Woolfolk yarn is definitely a contender. And the Alku. the ALKU, sorry. So those 4 are definitely on the top. And guess what they all have in common? They all have pockets, because it's definitely something that I feel like I need. When I walk my dog in the morning and I don't bring anything with me, and I'm usually still in my PJs. I like to put my phone in my pocket and like listen to. Right now, I'm listening to the Pimsleur Italiano lessons. My accent. So those are the 4 patterns that are at the top of my list that I think I would like to cast on this year. Obviously, when I get back from my trip, and the not runners up, but other ones that I'm really interested in maybe doing a vest version would be the Lauder, which is not, it's not even a cardigan. Why am I including that? But the Lauder has sparked me to want to make a cabled vest, and maybe the Carly cardigan vest version, like a cardigan vest version. I honestly think that I would wear that. So yeah, a lot of this is inspiring me to get my yarn and needles ready to cast on a cabled cardigan in the fall. I think there's a lot to be said in like knitting and the crochet world, is that we all want to knit the season that we're in. And that's hard because you want to wear the things that you're knitting in the season that you're in too. So there's like a race to finish it. So like in the fall and the winter, we want to knit warm things, and then in the summer we want to knit summer things. When really we should be knitting summer things at the end of winter, and winter things at the end of summer, but which we do in fall, right? But I just feel like a lot of that doesn't always end up timing right. Like this crochet shirt, I did get a lot of wear out of last summer because I did finish it pretty quickly. But there is a summer top, I can't remember the name, that I knit and I never wove in the ends because it was like cold and I was like, couldn't be bothered. I might throw that in my whip pile and just weave those in and talk about it in my next podcast. And then I bought all that yarn to do the sweater 18 by My Favorite Things Knitwear, but it's too late. It's too late. It is spring, it is summer. I'm not going to get to wear that sweater. So part of me is like, yeah, I'm going to put that on hold until fall, which is fine because I'm going to be gone for 2 months and I'm going to get back and it's going to be hot. It's going to be hot because I live in Southern California. So definitely don't see myself jumping on knitting that right away. I'm also kind of tempted to maybe use that yarn to knit up the Darling cardigan, just because I have been really wanting to knit that too, by Kuvika. I don't know if that's how you say her name, but I know it's like Kuvika, but I don't know. But I have, that's definitely been on my like wanting to cast on list, and I'm kind of torn between the sweater 18 and the Darling cardigan, just because I feel like the Darling, like I get more wear out of cardigans in Southern California. But that being said, I only ever knit cardigans. I don't think I've never knit a pullover sweater. So I do feel like I was desperately missing that from my wardrobe this winter. This last year and the year before, we've had pretty cold winters in SoCal. And in the mountains, like, it's cold. I mean, it's cold. It's not like zero cold, but it's cold. I don't know what that would be in Fahrenheit freedom units. I can't remember how low it got, but it was cold. It was cold enough that we had to worry about pipes freezing. So yeah, I think that wraps up today's video. I definitely want to do one more video before I go, and it will definitely be featuring the Ariana cardigan, which is done. It's done. It's done. I took photos yesterday. I wore it out. It was so hot, but I still wore it out for the pictures. So tune in for really great at marketing. So yeah, subscribe for sure so you can see next week's video, where I will be talking about my finished objects, my works in progress, and what I will be bringing with me to Italy and like what I plan on knitting on my trip, which I need to figure out because I don't know yet. So I gotta figure that out before next week's video. So yeah, comment, tell me what you liked. Tell me which cardigan was your favorite and which one you think I should knit of the 4 that I mentioned. And also, yeah. So yeah, leave me a comment about which one you liked best. Like the video if you liked it, and then subscribe if you want to see my next video. So thank you for spending however long it was with me. My legs are entirely asleep and my cat is on my lap. Bye.